All right. So, December 9th, yeah, 2021. Um, Day trading recap on the ES and the NQ. Um, so, I actually decided, okay, do you know what? I'm going to try and switch things up a bit. I'm going to use a different strategy. I'll plot my supply and demand zones and take my trades based on that. Um, I actually did not even use any of them today at all. Um, in fact, my whole trading was very, very, very much different. I've even forgotten now how I used to trade with supply and demand, and I just went to what I normally am used to. And what's interesting is I thought what I knew, what I was doing, would change, but yeah, supply and demand changed the way I was going to see things. Yeah, so yeah, I found that it just completely affected the way I saw price action, and I think I had the intention of just taking this, but the problem is was making decisions based on this, and don't get me wrong, it was fine. It was just yeah, it was just not. It didn't work out the way I thought it would, and it just affected the way I read the price. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in my charts because yeah, I don't know. It's so essentially the problem is this. My first trade was actually a break of this. I was watching price on the 15-minute chart when I wanted to take a trade at the beginning of the day. And because we'd already come here into this area, I thought, okay, we're going to come up, but we came back down. So I thought, if I'm going to take another one, we've already done that twice. I would take it if it broke this candle using the 15 minutes. So I put my order over here, got filled. My take profit was 10 points above. So that was the plan. So getting in around there, take profit, 10 points up was here, right? So this was take profit. We never really got there. We got to about 5 points. At least I saw five. Okay, I got in even earlier than this because I remember I had 5 points. So I think maybe I got in. If I look at the 5 minute, I actually got in at the high of the I broke this candle, so I had a tick above my. I got to 5 points. Yeah, here. So I got this point, and my take profit was 10 points. So that would have been my day had we gotten there, which was here. So that was when my exit was, just at this 60-minute moving average. Um, One pullback, two pullback, three. Oh wow, I actually did get there. Um, I wasn't confident that this leg would work, only because sometimes at the open the price action just becomes really weird. And so I just decided not to. I got out when this got here. I only got like 2 points in the end, 2.25 or something like that. I got out over here. Yeah, just about 2.25, which is a bit disappointing. We double tops and we come back here, and then the final leg rips, and it's a beautiful final leg because it's that big, massive candle. It hits my take profit area, and that would have been me done for the day. Because normally I'm aiming just for 10 points, and I was like, whoa, done for the day already, easy. Then I remember seeing this, and I thought, here we go. We have a parabolic wedge top. This will probably come down now. Um, but I alerted my friends in Discord, and I said, nah, I see a parabolic wedge top. I'm not going to take it though. And the reason why I wasn't going to take it was because I thought it was just going to be minor, and we're going to end up coming here to test the top of the range, because that was what was in my mind, and I completely forgot that sometimes this can happen where we come up and then we're channeling down something like this, where I mean now in hindsight we see this, but and in fact you look at it now, you're like, wow, yeah, there it was. And this was what we were doing. But at the time, I didn't see it that way. I just thought this was the bottom and the range was flat. I didn't realize that, oh, we're actually and a bear flag, and now I see it, I'm like, oh, this is actually very straightforward. And that's the problem when you are trading. I find sometimes when I'm trading supply and demand, it makes me think of what might happen. I didn't realize that we're making, lower high. We're making a lower high, so we're in a channel. Didn't see it that way. Had I thought about it from that perspective, and I used to back in the day when I used to trade supply and demand, and I would chart the supply zones, just kind of get an idea of how price was moving. I would find these channels and make my decisions based on the channels. I was actually really good at it. I have to go back and look at those old videos, some in my YouTube, how I used to trade then. And it's good to see that these channels are still there, still working. In fact, I'm just seeing this here again, and how, in fact, this could have been. Yeah, these are still very much in play, as you can see. I've just not been trading channels. But anyway, so that was the initial plan. What actually did happen was a test of patience. So because I wanted to be done, a bit annoyed that I didn't get my take profit, that affected my decision making. I saw this candle, I thought, okay, this wedge is going to fail, which is the reason why I plotted this measured move, and I thought, oh, we might actually, if this wedge fails, we might go up. And this is something you got to do in trading. You've also got to chart the failed pattern, and the failed pattern, as you can see, is the opposite, right? So if this is a failed, I mean, look at that to the T. That was a fail. So essentially, there's always a win and a lose, right? And that was the fail. Price could either gap up this way based on this range, or gap down based on this range. And as you can see, we've done that. So it's a powerful measured move setup here. I actually did mention to some people that we were going to get to 4670. I don't know. I can't remember what I did, but anyway. Yeah, it's a pity. All right, so that was that. As you can see, if we just look at the price action for today, if we just kind of do a short, small review, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this. I don't really need it for now. I'll have a real think about whether it's worth putting these in or not tonight, and figure out the best way to trade, because I'm still trying to figure out the best way to trade. And what I mean by this is that I find that I get very impatient. I catch the trades that aren't winning, and then when they don't work, I get frustrated and start missing out on the trades that do win. All right, so as I said, that was that. So I ended up taking. Now what happened? Yeah, the price came down here. Because I had my mindset on that, I now took a trade but when this candle broke. Yeah, I took a trade when this candle broke on this one here. I went long. Who am I stopping here? And I made a big mistake of buying twice the number of contracts I would normally buy for a stop that was down here. My stop normally is over here. It just was a bad idea. So price was chopping around, came down, and I remember saying to myself, well, dude, 3 pushes up. First push is always minor, the second one, and then you have a third one. So I've said down 1, pull back 2. In fact, we didn't actually break this low, did we? And then pull back 3. And I said to myself, if this breaks, this is going to screw me out. So I took the loss. It wasn't a small. It was a small loss relative to what I was like. I was comfortable making that loss, but I lost more than I was gonna make. Then I now went short, and I went short with twice the amount that I went long with. Right. So let's say I went short 4 times the amount I wanted to make. And I think I was here. I went short. It went up. Obviously, I didn't look at my P&L. I saw the points, and I thought to myself, I'm probably losing a lot of money at this point. 4 times more I want to lose, and I exited, and then this happened. When I exited, I got frustrated, and I went to the NQ. So at this point, I was really frustrated. I decided to trade the NQ. So, at the time, price was. I saw this massive bear leg, and price was here. This candle had just printed. So I just did some quick analysis. I realized something. I was like, okay, if price is here, this is yesterday's low. We have one big up, big down, with a massive big down with a bear, and this is something I've now learned. I learned something big today. We had this big up, big down, but it wasn't just a big down. We broke the lows, right? And then we kept going down, and then we had this. So I thought, okay, we're gonna break, and then we have one more leg down, and we might break this. I just didn't even think that this was a bear breakout, like for a bear trend. I didn't, and I noticed it was yesterday's low as well. I took off pre-market data just to help me out. Let's take this off because I don't need it anymore. This was not even part of today. So yeah, as you can see, we were hugging this. But anyway, so we came back, pushed back, and I noticed that. Oh yeah, and this was my trigger. So I noticed that we had one more leg down. We were over here, and I was like, okay, at least we're going to test this level. We've done one pullback, the second pullback, and we're just pulling back to the MA. And I thought, oh yes, came back down. I just went short, and I shorted the NQ, not the MNQ. I went in with, I can't remember any contracts, but I went in shorts, took this down to about here, and I got out, and this covered all my losses for everything. It was a very good profit because I was trading the NQ. So risky trade in the sense that, you know, I was risking so much, but just that scalp was enough. I did want to take this candle, but at this point I was just like, eh. When this candle had finished printing, I was like, okay, do we have any more downs? It's a huge candle. We probably don't. I went short at first, went down for a bit. I think I was looking at the... No, hang on. What happened? I think it was here. Yes, actually I held the trade down here, and then I went short. This candle went up, and I thought, what if this... And look at how far it went. I didn't trade the NQ for it going long. I traded the MNQ. So it was a smaller position, but it was taking a lot of profits, and I was very upset at this point. And I thought, no, this is not right. So I went long, then came back down, and this is where I was now. I stopped myself. I said, dude, you're over trading. This is not a plan. Wait for the candles to close. It was so difficult to hold myself at this point. And I had to really stop myself. I think I was emotional at this point. So I stopped for a bit, and I remember that, okay, we have 3 legs down. We need to get above this candle. This went up. I was watching the ES at the time, and I saw that this was the same sort of price action. I went long, just a few contracts, and then just got out over here. Didn't want to waste my time with this. I should have taken this all the way to the top. And as you can see, we had a nice parabolic wedge, and then carried on down. When it went down, as you can see, we had a bear breakout. Now this is the pattern I really love to trade. But whenever I see this, I'm always thinking, oh, we're probably going up, but not always. This is a bear breakout. Completely destroyed this range. Came back, test the bottom, came back down, test the bottom again, went back to the MA, could not even get, and then tested this MA, and then we just kept on going down. Same sort of situation here, bull flag. If we put back, oopsie, this chart, you can see it's actually really a lot of selling happened today on the NQ. Yeah, bull flag. If we have our channel, I mean, this one looks like it's actually a break of the range if you really think about it, because I'm very comfortable saying that was what happened. But I guess you could also argue that this is what we were. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's very hard to tell. I mean, this is clearly some sort of support over here, and resistance. Maybe this probably, it's never perfect, right? So this could have been like that. Here, touched all these points and even touched this. And then now you have a break down here. God knows whether we're now going to head back up. But the point is, this was very short-lived. and I think it would be very interesting to see how the ES performs. All right, so I was now going to talk about price action on the ES, how I read it throughout the day. Now, some things I did which I realized I should not have done, which was try to predict what could have happened. And there's always two sides to everything. There's a buy and there's a sell. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to fix something I fixed on my other chart. And when I say the other chart is make this really thick so I can see it a lot more clearly. Now, if we just take this out, we don't need these because, so the same pattern here, you have 3 pushes down, 1, 2, 3, so that was the wedge set up there. This was a great entry long. Over here, stop, low of day. Could have gone for 3 pushes up, 1, 2, and 3, right? And this is another push down, a nice wedge bottom over here, 3 pushes down, another really good entry long, 1, pull back 2, pull back 3, actually a nice double top. It's funny because I used to trade these wedges back in the, I mean, you couldn't really, 1, 2, and 3, this would have been a, I'm not really sure about this one, so I'm going to ignore this one. 1, pull back 2, but then over here you realize that we have a bear breakout from this range, breakout mode. This is something I need to try and keep watch or understand, how you catch breakout mode or channels like you have 1, pull back 2, pull back 3, actually maybe not, maybe this is the first pull back 2, pull back 3, because you can actually see this looks like a massive breakout from a range over here. There is a channel in here, or if you could argue here, from here to here, somewhere in here anyway, and then nice double top, and therefore we have a bear breakout all the way down, 3 pushes down, 1, pull back 2, pull back 3, probably a double bottom, but I think it actually went even lower. If you see, actually still stayed there sideways, probably going to try and break this. So there was a setup here, setup there, setup there, setup there. There's probably a setup here, went up twice. Trading ranges, you can find these wedges that are useful, and there are some really good gains to be had in here. In fact, this is one. Is it a pullback? No pullbacks in here. I'm sure if I go on a lower time frame, I will find them. Nope, no pullbacks. These are, in fact, they're all bull bars, so they can't have. Well, actually, they could be pullbacks, but you could almost argue that this is a pullback, but it's not a pullback because the low is above that, so there are no pullbacks. This itself is a pullback from this move back to the moving average. Nice sell, good entry here, and then tackling the low. These are things I'm still trying to learn. Pullback from the moving average, bear bar closing on its low. Very difficult to take this bar though. Risk very high. Your stop, you have a lot to risk. I wouldn't take this. Not a really good sell. This one seems okay, but this one is way too far from the average where you would put your stop. And yeah, and probably more, man. It's just this. These are, you want bars a bit smaller, but this is just way too big. I mean, actually, let's actually see what was the size of the bar. 7, 10 points. I guess, but 10 points is a lot to risk when making 10 points is difficult. All right. Anyway, so that was the setups on. Oh, those were the setups on the ES. The NQ would follow something similar. Here we go. But the NQ is a lot easier in the sense that you have this big up, big down, big massive bar. You could go short here. Probably want to go long here, but again, you're testing yesterday's high. It's probably not a good idea to take this long, and then you have a bear bar already. Yeah, it's not consecutive, but then the moment you start to see consecutive bear bars, 1, 2, 3, you have to question, okay, are we going to break the moving average? We do. Probably bulls bought around here because they're buyers here, but this only became a pause, pulled back again, went back here, and then down here. Now you're officially in a bear trend because you've broken the lows, pulling back to the moving average. Looked like we were going to go back up, but actually we didn't even. We only tested this moving average, came back down, and then looked up and we created a tight trading range. At this point, we have a small triangle here and here. Triangle has 3 pushes, so 1, pull back, 2, pull back, 3 maybe, or 3 pushes down, 1, 2, and 3, 3 here. So hence we call it a triangle. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3 exactly. So you have a triangle, breakout mode, bear breakout, tight trading range, two legs back up, lower high, coming down again. You didn't even have a wedge. This was the wedge here actually. There you go. Bear breakout, and this is hard to see when it's happening. Bear breakout, lower high, but no gap. So therefore, you could have been a bull. You could have bought this bar, and you could have bought this bar, and got out here, or even made profits here. If you bought here, yeah, actually, if you bought this bar, you'd have gotten out at your entry. So whatever had happened here, you could have gotten out. Because they're overlaps. So whenever you see a stock making overlaps of pivot points, you know that you could be a bull and a bear and probably make money, or at least you'd be okay. Here's another nice wedge entry here, short. So there's quite a few setups today, quite a few. What was this one? Pull back 2, pull back 3. So this is your wedge. Good entry here. 2 legs up or 3 legs up, 1, pull back 2, pull back 3. Could have entered here, gotten out somewhere here on the third leg. Spike, pull back and channel here, three pushes down, 1, 2, and 3, and then gone up. Small tiny wedge. In fact, you could actually argue this is your wedge, 1, 2, 3, and then one final double bottom entry here for a quick scalp. You couldn't get 2 legs though. Little spike, pullback, channel. Here, 3 pushes down again, but then really bad follow through. So really good setups here. It's here. Really, and then the favors are with the bear. This is the most dominant part of the chart, so you really want to be selling, especially if you're below the moving average most of the time. In a way, I wish I'd paper traded this, but I just hadn't got the time to do it today. And again, this looks like, yeah, it was a wedge as well. All right, that is trading for today. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to trade, but I'm going to see what's, it looks very interesting for tomorrow. We have 1 push, 2 push, or is this 1, 2, 3? We'll see. Or is this 1, 2, 3? Whatever it is, we definitely have 2 here. This looks very climatic. Well, it's not that climatic actually. It does look somewhat climatic. And then on the ES, what am I doing? On the ES, what do we have? Because I think we're going to try and reclaim the all-time highs before December. We have 1, 2, so it looks like we may come back up, and then one last one. So maybe the NQ would probably be similar. So maybe the overnight session might rally to the top. Again, I don't know, but there is a chance that might happen because we have 3 pushes down, 1, 2, 3, a double bottom here. We've already broken this low, so again that is 3 pushes, 1, 2, and 3. We might come back up, maybe come back down tomorrow. All right, well, at least we now know one thing. We have a channel, and we can kind of see how the price is moving with this channel. So we should have a lot of movement tomorrow.